We sat off to the side talking for 45 minutes. We weren't too far out of eye view from everyone, and I definitely got my plate of food. We all know I was gonna eat. Fame came and said they had to go. A said he was gonna try to see me one more time before he left back to Texas, but he couldn't make any promises. I walked back over to Tony. She was sitting with Cruz, but he was about to head out too. We decided to ring Mac's bell and see why Butter didn't come to the barbecue. That would have been interesting if he did. Imagine explaining to Ace that's not the nigga Fame saw me with, and to Butter that's not the nigga who gave me the hickey. Kinda hilarious in a messy way. Not that I owe anyone an explanation, but still. Robin naturally opens the door with a big smile as we get to her door. Mac was sitting on the couch in a white beater tank top and some basketball shorts. "Why y'all not at the barbecue?" Tony questioned. "That's for them young folks," Robin says and chuckles. "I take it y'all not hungry." "No, we ate," Tony replies. I just stay quiet through their interaction. Just as we are walking towards the couches, Butter walks out the back room. "Finally!" Everyone turns toward him. He walks over toward me and pulls me into a hug. He hugs me tightly and rocks from side to side. "You smell good," he says as he sniffs my neck. "Thank you. I bathe." We both start laughing and he pokes me on my ribs as he lets go of the hug. We all walk to the couches to sit down. Our normal thing, I guess. "Why you ain't come to the barbecue?" I asked. "I was supposed to go to practice, but it got canceled, so I just stayed in and worked on music." I nod my head. "Let me show y'all what I was working on." Butter gets up and walks toward the back. He comes back with a notebook. He stands in the living room. Robin is smiling so hard you'd think that was her son. He clears his throat and starts singing the song off the paper he wrote. Mac sits straight up on the couch and starts bopping his head. Butter sang the first verse and the chorus of the song he was working on. "What you think about it?" "It sounds really good," I reply. He lets out a smile and tries to hide it. "We saw you," Max says. Butter starts laughing. Summer really got him blushing. I've never seen him like this. This is crazy. I roll my eyes because Mac is really annoying. I'm not sure what they're trying to sell with this, but I'm not buying it. "You always make Butter look so lame," Tony says. "Do I?" "Yes," I reply so quickly. Oh, damn. Here I am thinking I'm helping. "You overdo it so it's not even believable." "See? I told you," Butter says. "Thought girls like that stuff." "Yeah, not for every single interaction. I know he has some kind of interest. You don't have to lay it on thick." "You sure y'all 15?" Max says while laughing. "Let me remove myself to the back for a minute then." "Tony, come help me prepare dinner," Robin says as she walks toward the kitchen. Tony looks a little confused but gets up. "Sorry about that," Butter says as we're sitting in the living room alone. "Not your fault, I wouldn't think." "Can I come sit next to you?" he asked, still standing in the same spot he was singing in. I started to laugh. "Yes." "Why you laughing?" "You acting like you don't know how to act around me." "I don't. I keep trying to shake this lame image you have of me, and it keeps getting worse." "You're good, Edgar," I reply. We both start laughing. The more we spoke and he was himself, he wasn't as lame as he originally was. I still wasn't really into him, but he was cool for entertainment purposes. This sounds worse than it's really meant to be, but whatever. Mac didn't come back out of the back room for the rest of the time we were there, and I can't say I care. Robin and Tony eventually came back into the living room, and we all had group conversations. I was getting ready to leave and it was around 8:30. Tony said she would walk with me to the bus and Butter did not interject to walk, which is also good because I needed Tony to be my cover for the movies with Yamir. Butter gave me a hug on my way out and kissed my neck. "You just smell so good." I start laughing. "I'm gonna call you this week," he continues, "and hopefully see you soon. If you're not too busy." He almost sounds nervous with that statement. "Yeah," I reply. Tony and I exit the apartment. Butter stands in the doorway until the elevator comes. He blows me a kiss as I get into the elevator. I don't know what to make of Butter. I say as the elevator door closes. Yeah, me either. Then they be acting all weird and shit. There was a few minutes of silence. Oh yeah, before I forget, I'm going to the movies with this kid from around my way, Yamir, tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell my mother I'm going with you, so don't call. She nods her head. What happened to Champion? He's still there, but no title. He doesn't want one. He said he would stop pressing me about it. Oh, bitch, make that nigga your man. I don't know. I'll see. Well, make sure you call me. I want to know how I like the movie. We both start laughing and continue to walk to the bus. The next day, I wake up around 11:15 and the phone is ringing. I still feel groggy. I was on the phone again with Champion until about 5 a.m. He was going to North Carolina for about a week and we stayed on the phone until it was time for them to leave out the door. He said he wanted to see me when he got back. I reached for the phone, which was above my head, still on the pillow. It wasn't on the base, so I figured it would have died by now. Hello? I say into the receiver with my face still buried in the pillow. Oh, damn, you still asleep? You could sleep if you're tired. No. Hi, Yamir. You still up for the movies? Yes. What time is the show? Is 3 o'clock enough time? Yeah, I'll get up now. Call you back in a bit. I say with my face still buried in the pillow. It didn't sound too convincing, but I'll force myself out of this bed. I roll out of the bed and try to see if anyone is home so I could tell whoever where I'll be. Sharif was sitting on the couch in complete silence. Looks like he's thinking about something. Hey, Sharif? He almost seems startled as I break him from thought. Hey, Raindrop. I was gonna go to the movies with Tony today, if that's okay. Yeah, that's cool. You need money? No, I have. Just wanted to let someone know. Yesterday, Mom said between 11:30 and midnight was curfew. Is that okay too? Yeah, sure, Raindrop. He says in a somber tone. I turn to walk away so I could start getting ready. Once I get in the shower, I start washing my hair. The shower gives me a little bit more energy than I have. I get out and start putting my curly products in my hair. I go toward my closet and look for some clothes to wear. I should probably bring a hoodie. The movie theater is always freezing. As I'm looking for my outfit, I'm standing in my towel. The phone rings and I grab the phone. Hello? Nerd, what are you doing? Looking for something to wear. Why? Where you going? Over here? No, movies with Yamir. Oh! Let me and Sham double date. I start laughing. No. Why? You have so much drama. Who knows who's gonna see who and fight who? I'm trying to watch Dr. Doolittle and mind my business. You are so rude. Yes, yes. I know. You don't know why you're my friend. She starts laughing. Movies with the Amir? I thought you were caught up on Champion. Yup, definitely am. I start laughing. Yamir is cool, and I'm not anyone's girlfriend. Yeah, sounds like you're trying to distract yourself, but have fun. I roll my eyes. She might be right, but I can't let her know. We hang up, and I keep getting ready. I pull out this polo jean skirt out of my drawer matching t-shirt. I put on some ankle socks and slide my feet into my white ups. I was kind of nervous to call Yamir's house. I didn't want his mom to get mad. I pick up the phone to call his house to tell him I was ready. He picked up on what seemed like half a ring. Hello? Hey, I'm ready? Okay, walk to the school. I'll meet you there. Okay. We hang up. I grab my hoodie and slide my money in the back pocket of my skirt. I also pick up my keys and take off the extra keychains so they weren't too bulky to fit in my pocket. I just bring the keys on the keyring. I'll slide them in my front pocket after I lock the door. Of course, as I get into the lobby, Maurice is there. Hey, I say as I walk out the elevator in an attempt to minimize any conversation. Hey, Summer, you look nice. Thank you, I say in a sing-song tone and head toward the lobby door. I get outside and the sun is beaming so bright, but it doesn't feel too hot outside. It feels nice and warm, almost like a spring day instead of summer. When I get to the park, Ymir was already outside the park. His house was directly down the block. Mine is up the block, and one block is probably like 4 or 5 blocks. No exaggeration. He turns and sees me coming and starts to smile. I smile back. As I get closer, he comes in for a hug, so I hug him back. I called a cab, he says. Oh, okay. I figured it would be better than taking the bus. Yeah, that's cool. There was a bit of awkward silence. You look nice, he says. Thanks, so do you. Is that really a compliment for guys? I start laughing. Yes, I guess. Within a few seconds, the cab pulls up. Tate and Preston are walking down the block. Oh, God, Yamir says. Okay, Preston shouts from across the street. Raindrop, he continues. I start laughing and wave. I like this, Tate shouts. Please, shut up, Ymir says toward them as he opens the cab door. You can go first, he says to me. Real gentleman shit, Tate shouts. I start laughing. Ymir gets in and closes the door. I'm glad you're laughing. It's not a big deal. Ymir looks so embarrassed. So what made you want to go to the movies? You asked me. Yeah, like 3 months ago. It's not on purpose. I don't know. A lot be going on at once. Sure, them niggas and Flushing be on you too. I half shrug and look out the window. I could tell he was trying to find out if I had someone and pushed him to the side. That isn't really the case, but I could see how that would seem like it happened. Maybe if I saw him more often, that would matter too. I don't know. I think he is cute and we vibe, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Champion. I sound soft. Yuck. The ride to the movie theater was short. It was the same one not too far from behind my school. Ymir pulled out a $20 bill out of his pocket for the cab. The driver gave him back $10. We exit the cab and walk into the movie theater. The line to buy tickets is almost outside the lobby area. We had about 45 minutes before the movie started, and this line will probably take about 20. Good thing we got here early. You sure Dr. Doolittle is okay? Yeah, I want to see it. You? Wouldn't be my first choice if I wasn't with you. I laugh a bit. We can see something else. No, we're going to see Dr. Doolittle. I won't tell anyone you enjoyed it then. He starts laughing. We're finally up to be next. I start to dig in my back pocket. No, I got it, Ymir says. You sure? I could get the snacks then. Nah, I got that too, he says and steps up to buy the tickets. I slide my money back into my pocket and stand near him but not in the way. He gets our tickets and we make our way upstairs. You want to find our seats first or you want snacks? Ymir asks. I didn't really want anything. I'm kind of good. You don't like to eat in front of people. I know some of y'all girls be nervous about that. I start laughing. No, I definitely do not care about that. I really just don't want snacks. He shrugs and we start to stroll toward the theater where the movie is going to be. Yo, your homegirl Lauren? Oh God, I interject. I didn't mean it to be like word vomit and I start laughing. I am so sorry. Go ahead. Nah, I'm nervous now too. I start laughing harder, which makes him laugh. She gonna get some niggas into some shit one day. I shake my head in a disbelief manner. I don't really have a comment. I wonder if he was saying this because Tate is his cousin or if he's trying to see if I'm like her. Could be a combination of both, but I don't think if he thought I was like her, he'd be taking me on a date. Getting better with not overthinking, right? Lauren really needs to chill though. She is better than this reputation she's making for herself. We walk into the theater and it's really kind of packed. Told you, it's a good movie. Good choice you picked, I say and chuckle. He smirks, trying not to look amused. We find two seats together in the middle of the theater. You sure? No snacks? He asks as he sits down. I'm sure, I smile. He naturally smiles back and sits down. I drape my hoodie over my legs because it's freezing in there. After about 5 minutes of casual conversation and shit talking, the lights get dim and the previews are about to start. I see Amir fidgeting, but he seems unsure of his actions, almost like he wants to put his arm up but doesn't know how I'll react. As time passes, I had to decide if my arms or legs would be cold. This AC is set to igloo type temperatures. I take the jacket off my legs and put it on. In doing so, I see Yamir watching me out the corner of his eye. "You cold," he whispers. "Freezing." I put my hand on his hand to show him my hand is freezing. He puts his arm around me and tries to bring me as close to him as he can. The armrest is in the way, so he just keeps his arm draped over my shoulder. I lean my head on his shoulder for comfort and some warmth. I caught Ymir laughing a few times at the movie too. As the movie ends, everyone stands up to leave. Ymir stands up and begins to stretch. I don't wait for him to finish and stand up so I don't get hit by his arms by accident.